welcome. Hi, I'm Samantha Simpson, and today's practice today is going to address the posterior chain. So the posterior chain is the whole chain of fascia and muscle that goes up the back side of the body. We don't normally think about it because we can't see it. It's really important to balance the muscles of the posterior chain because we live in a sedentary lifestyle. The past century has brought us more to sitting down all the time, and we've lost tone in the back side of the body. So problems with this is we atrophy. The actual glute muscles and the hamstrings are so small, and some people, especially women over 40, they have not much activation there at all. And another thing that this can lead to is an imbalance. So maybe you've got the front side of the body, the quads, the shins, the biceps even, get overdeveloped in relationship to the back side of the body. And when that happens, one muscle is going to do all the work while the other one is not going to do very much at all. So what this leads to is skeletal imbalances, pain in the joints, pain in the spine, and disharmony in proportion. So I'm going to teach you some exercises today that are going to help you turn on the back side of the body. And we're going to use ankle weights. So if you don't have ankle weights, I suggest you get some. You can get some at any store or on Amazon for not very much money. In any weights from 2 to 5 pounds. I've got on 5 pounds right now, and because I really want to feel it. But at any stage you're at, you can use any level of weights. So get your ankle weights on. If you don't have them yet, you can watch along and save this video for later. So what we're going to start with is, well, first I might add, we're going to use the ankle weights in conjunction with the bowspring alignment. So the bowspring alignment actually addresses the posterior chain in every single one of its movements. The ankle weights are going to be an added benefit to really target those areas. So check out these exercises for the glutes and the hamstrings we're talking about today. So first, let's start with our arms and service arms. So pretend like you're holding a tray, and you've got the elbows in front of the body, so they're not next to the body, they're a little bit in front. And the elbows are actually more narrow than the shoulders. Elbows are narrow, shoulders are wide. Add some imaginary weight to your tray. There you go. And at the same time, lift your armpits up. Yeah, it's a opposing kind of sensation. All right, so I'll turn the other way so you can see me. And I'm going to maintain the service arms, and I'll find the bendy bowspring alignment with the bend in the knees and the hips tilted. And I'm going to pick up the left foot and take it behind me, a square leg back. Since I have the weight, I can feel a resistance on the back of the leg. I'll keep my back ankle flexed. Toes are softly curled. Good, and I can start to lean forward now, mainly because I have that feeling of the weight. It's a counterbalance, but if I didn't have the weight, I would ideally be able to tone the back leg muscle so I could lean over with more balance. Eventually that will happen without the use of the weights, but until then, it really helps push your seed hands forward. Armpits lift and start to go forward more like you're flying. Send the back leg out behind you, hips are level. Keep bends in both knees. Eyes at the horizon, lift your heart, lift your head, reach forward, and then bring it back up. Push into your back and your head to come up. Woo, baby! Somehow, the weights actually help make this easier to do than if you didn't have the weights at all. It makes the balance easier. So just think, if your legs eventually have that structure or that strength, then you can balance better all the time. All right, we'll start in service arms. Lift your armpit, hold that heavy tray, push it forward, open your collarbones, and pick up the right foot. Take it to a square leg back. Flex the ankle, soft the toes, and then reach arms forward, horizon arms, palms down, seed hands press forward. Keep the hips level. Both hamstrings are working hard here. Both knees are bent, and I might even be able to lean over with full strength and balance. Yeah, I can even fly a little bit like I'm Supergirl. Whee! So much freedom and balance. The posterior chain, when it's activated, can give you. No kidding. All right, we'll come back down. Woo-wee, I really felt that on both legs. All right, take a breath. The next exercise is gonna incorporate the side butt more. It's an open leg, so I'm gonna pick up the left leg and then take it out to the side. I'll slide both hands to both knees, push the hips back, and stretch the belly long. All right, I'll show you from the front as well. There you go. And the knees are actually more narrow than the feet. Stretch your belly long. Yeah, and you can feel that side butt turn on. Backs of both legs turn on. Whoa there. Keep going. And then bring it back center. Step to the place. Take a big breath. And we'll go to the other side. Open leg, other side. Pick up the foot. Take it to the side. Knees are more narrow, sits bones wide, ankles wide, belly long, and then bring it back to the center. Very good. And then we'll come to the floor. Step your feet wide, straddling your mat, get deep in the hips, and reach your arms forward. So posterior chain works here too. Lift your heart and your head and push spring hands to the floor. Come to hands and knees, all fours pose. Adjust your all four pose so you have room for your belly to be long. Lift your rib cage high. Squeeze the base of your palms. Lift your armpits. Engage the legs and pull the hips away from the ribs. And a gentle tug of war that lengthens the waistline and the neck. All right, you ready? Pick up the left leg, square like that. Keep your knee more towards the floor, so don't lose the hollow in your left groin. Keep there an indentation there. All right, and then you can start to pulse. Keep your ankles flexed, both of them. And then you can turn a bicycle pedal. Yeah, nice and slow. Ankles flexed. Keep your ribs high. Well, it's a burner. And then place it back to the floor. We'll go other side. And lift. Yeah, flex the ankle. Keep the ribs lifted here. And then a slow and steady bicycle pedal. Maybe making the leg straighter. The slower you go, the more you can feel. Oh yeah, that's turning on muscles I didn't know that I had. And what's more, when you have more developed hamstrings and glutes, it takes the pressure out of your low back. So you might have a little soreness in the hamstrings and the buns, but not in the low back tomorrow. And I would rather have a soreness in the hamstrings or the buns than the low back any day. I don't know about you. All right, and then that comes down. Now you can repeat that, or we can take it up a notch. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips, come to crouching cat. So the ribs lift up and forward, the neck goes over the hands, the hips go back. And we'll lift the left leg. Keep the hollow in the groin, and you can stretch it out to a wave leg. Keep the ribs high. That'll keep you from doing the work in your low back. And you can do a little pulse here, and then take it down, and then switch. Fiesta flare the foot here, so pull the pinky toe side of the foot more towards the front of your mat. It's opposite of what you're doing now, I guarantee it. All right, and then touch down. Good. Lower back to the knees. And then take your hands off of the mat. So just straddle the mat with your hands, one on each side. Fill in your ribs, and then walk your knees back so that you're no longer on your kneecaps, but you're on the tops of your thighs. Okay? And then allow your weights to weigh you back. Turn on the posterior chain. You feel it on now? Good. And then widen the elbows. Keep the butt lifted. Widen the elbows. Keep the head, the ribs, and the butt up. And then easily bring it back up. Notice the place between my shoulder blades stays broad the whole time. This is not a regular push-up. This is a posterior chain lift up, okay? It's nothing like a push-up at all. I have seen men who could do 50 regular push-ups who couldn't do one of these. Well, they could, but the alignment is so confusing and different that it doesn't sink in first. But you can do it. I know you can. All right? One more. And then lower to your belly. Keep a hollow between your hips and the floor. Open the angles of your knees a little bit. Walk your elbows forward. Bring your hands into a prayer. Push your elbows into the floor. Draw your elbows back and then draw your ribs forward. Lift your heart. Soften your low back. Engage the posterior chain. Tummy time. Keep the engagement. Breathe into the low back ribs. Soften the low back. Open the pelvic floor. Okay, it's intense. Yeah, and then we'll take the heels, windshield wiper, left and right. To feel is to heal, my friends. Explore. The slow movement sometimes catches the muscle that you're forgetting more than the fast one does. Okay? And then come back to center. Really roll into the side. Place your hand and slide on up, letting the ribs glide up first, the head comes up last. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you have any questions about your posterior chain or these exercises today, feel free to write a comment or question below. And if you know that you need help or want some private coaching, feel free to send me a private message yourself. Thank you, as always. Namaste.